House Republican Chuck Edwards, Republican from North Carolina. This is in the Asheville area. In fact, it's at, I think, a literal town hall in Asheville, North Carolina. This is the guy who had the problem regarding a self-identified vet who was mad at Chuck Edwards for going along with 30% of federal workers are vets. Thousands of them have lost their jobs. Plus, there's been cuts at the VA.
Because they're part of the diversity being included.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Literally, I had that debate on Jubilee with the guy who thought that government agencies had tax cuts, and he was confusing government agencies with the private sector, and then also totally confused about his initial premise. There are tax breaks if you hire certain people, but not if they are black. If they're in any type of government assistance, or not any type, but some government assistance, part of those programs to require people to have a job if you're going to give them food or give them Medicaid. But also, one of the biggest classes, you get a discount or I should say a tax break if you hire vets, because they're vets. Here is Chuck Edwards, though, responding to the idea of annexation of Canada and Greenland.
Do you support the annexation of Canada and/or Greenland? And this is a yes or no question. I don't want you to wander off into the woods. I don't want to hear about your latest week in your office.
Oh, they'll take the microphone away from him.
Okay, so I'm trying to get your opinion on this as a yes or no. Do you support Trump on annexing Canada or Greenland? And do you like the way he treats the premier or the president of Canada, calling him governor? Is that the way you do as a diplomat? Is that the way the United States should act to our closest neighbors? Is this, and I've still got a little more time. Do you enjoy the way he's tried to extort minerals from the Ukraine? Do you like bullying people that need your help? Do you go for kicking the guy when he's down? Do you support Trump in these things? And this is a yes or no.
The no's in there. Let me answer the first one, and then there was one that really stuck out that I'd like to also answer. I believe your first question that you wanted yes or no is, do I support annexing Greenland and Canada? The short answer to that is no, I do not. There was another question in there. I think it was, do I support a deal? I'm going to paraphrase a little bit. A deal with Ukraine in obtaining minerals and helping the United States taxpayer recoup the $140 billion or so that we've sent over there. The answer is yes, I do support that.
They're not happy with him.
Also, just the way that those deals work out, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I believe there's some stateside beneficiaries to our arms deals that make a lot of money every time that we ship bombs to these foreign countries. Maybe we should just tax those people more.
Yeah.
Maybe you should be able to make massive profits off of war material.
It's interesting too, because maybe I'm observing this anecdotally, but I think there are some young people who are, obviously more further removed from World War II and the post-World War II order. But there's a group of folks that see how Donald Trump is behaving on the international stage and bullying our allies that is so, I feel like, shocking to everything a lot of people have understood about politics, that a guy like that is just outraged at how he's behaving. I mean, Trump has broken every rule of decorum, but there's a certain level where you can't just take it as if he's being poorly mannered, right? Like, this has ramifications for the country, and that's what he's speaking to.
Let's go to the phones. One last call, I think. Maybe we have time one more. Calling from a 617 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from? 617.
Yeah, hi, Xavier from Detroit, originally Boston.
Xavier from Detroit, originally Boston. What's on your mind?
Hey, guys, thank you so much for taking my call. I don't know if you saw my IM. I'm actually a member just over a year, and so happy to support you guys. You guys provide just so much. I'm sorry, I'm one of the nervous callers.
No, you're great.
You guys are so important to the left. I mean, you and Amy Goodman are basically, the only way I survive these days we're in. So thank you so much for everything you do. Also, Emma, you were amazing on MSNBC. Your, poise and just clarity was just amazing. You need to get out there more.
Thank you.
Sam on Jubilee, amazing. I hope you gain a lot of viewers from that. And basically just want to thank you guys. I could go into things even though my mind just went blank about what I actually would want to talk about.
Well,
but
appreciate it.
I'm just going to leave it there. Just going to compliment you guys.
Thanks so much.
To the moon and back. Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Thanks for
the
being
call.
a member.
Nice. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Okay, we will have time for another call. That one was uncharacteristically brief. Calling from an 859 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Sam and Emma, this is Perry from Lexington, Kentucky. How are you all?
Perry from Lexington, Kentucky. What's on your mind?
I am also a My Bourbon Gamer in the Twitch chat, and they told me I had to say poggers or else I would get kicked out.
Poggers!
So, poggers to the Twitch chat.
Yeah, we'll do that too.
So I wanted to talk real quick about something that I also sent in the IM, which is something that is not getting any national attention, which is the passage of a very late hours bill that was sponsored by House Republicans, which was blocking of a massive amount of aid to trans Kentuckians, especially at the Medicaid level, especially for trans youth in the state. And this was sponsored and passed with overwhelming majority by House Republicans. This was House Bill 495. Governor Beshear has already come out and widely disavowed this bill, so it's likely that it's going to be vetoed. But one thing that I really wanted to point out is that something that I think folks are paying the most attention to, of course, is at the national level. We have a lot of dissent against the Trump administration. Bless you, Sam, also.
Thank you.
But you're very welcome. But also, there is a lot of consent that is being manufactured for our lawmakers at the state level, too, and they are kind of doing it without us even knowing. And there is a wonderful trans councilwoman in Lexington here by the name of Emma Curtis, who is not only the first trans councilwoman in Lexington, but also in the state of Kentucky. And she has been an incredible advocate for trans rights. And I hope that she paves the way for trans advocates across the entire state. But anyway, she has done a lot of work to stand up and show that there is advocacy for trans folks. And one thing also, too, this wasn't just stripping trans people of their Medicaid rights and their ability to access hormone therapy through Medicaid. It also upheld conversion therapy in the state, too, which, as we all know, is completely ineffective for trans people, and
abusive.
It's completely and extremely abusive. Exactly. So again, please, people, be aware of the fact that your state's rights are also being abused and stripped away from you. It's incredibly terrifying. But that's all. Left is best. Love you all.
Appreciate
Poggers for the Twitch chat.
Thanks.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you guys.
Poggers to the Twitch chat. All right, we've got a couple other clips. We'll do those tomorrow. I wanted to play that Tim Walz clip. We didn't pull that too. That I think in the Walz was pretty explicit that they screwed up.
Apologetic walls.
Oh yeah, I think him doing this, I don't know. I mean, he's clearly setting himself up for 2028, which I'm thrilled about. But I don't know if we've seen a politician say that about their own campaign really that often. I mean, Kamala's not saying anything.
Well, he's kind of doing it in a way that he's not the main person to take the blame. Really.
Of course not. Yeah, I mean,
But he is taking. But he is taking it in a way. I mean, he's not
right.
I mean, by articulating it, he's responding to it.
He's
right?
taking his blame and then leaving the rest of the blame kind of out there for other people to assign.
obviously, I mean, it's on Harris, but it's also on this campaign. That the Hill article that said that one of her staffers that she had brought in was objecting to the no daylight thing in their debate prep, and he stopped getting invited to the meetings that the Biden people were holding for Harris. I mean,
Walz did? Is that it?
No, Harris advisor. I mean, like, not saying again that this wasn't, she's not complicit in this, and her kind of indecisiveness and weakness as a politician is part of what allowed them to take over.
Yep.
But I think you can just see how, I mean, the campaign being headquartered in Delaware kind of says it all. This was Biden 2.0.
Horrible. Iowa Ryan, check out the Dr. Alsterholm podcast. Really good measles updates, also USAID updates. Many people losing AIDS meds. Very scary. Bill Christoph, is that his name? Not Christoph. No. Christoph. What's his name?
You're thinking of Bill Kristol.
Nicholas Christoph
Christoph.
in the Times.
Yeah.
Went out and found stories of children on the receiving end of the USAID shutdown. Horrible story. People should check that out. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Well, at least the Trump administration is telling them to put all the information in burn bags so they can destroy all the evidence of all the turmoil they're creating.
I live in Berlin now, Sam's Burger and Freedom Fries, and was planning to bring my Swiss boyfriend to visit my family next year. And now I'm thinking that we'll have to cancel those plans because of what the Trump administration is doing.
I'm not. I understand that.
All right, folks, that is going to end the phone call portion of the program. If I could find a... There we go. A little hinky today. Ideal paradox. I'm going to have to make AI Sam and Emma to debate them because they will never take my call. We will take your call, just not today.
But we don't know who you are because you got to put your area code in if that's the case, because we don't see your number when you're IMing in.
Appalachian anarchist, another term for plainclothes officer, is secret police. Lori's guy. Funnily, Gary Peters' voicemail picked up after the vote.
Huh. They figured out the machine.
Ammonia Quimby, predicting Sam's I had a lot of Mick friends will be a good sound drop in the future. Fun half remix.
For Gary Peters' seat, that's funny, but just putting this out there, that's going to be probably the most highly contested Senate primary in the country, because Buttigieg isn't running. And I think with Michigan being at the center of the vote on Gaza and the withholding of votes, there's a real prime opportunity, I think, for like a real left-wing person to enter in that primary and make some hay.
Your guest last night, Matt. What's his name? I've interviewed him before on the Medicare.
Khalid, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me.
I think there's been talk.
Are you talking about Abdul Al-Sayed?
Yeah.
Abdul Al-Sayed.
Oh yeah. I think he's going to run, and there's also this rep who represents suburban Michigan, who's been pretty pro-Israel, who was over the weekend throwing her hat in the ring. I'm forgetting.
Next.
her name off the top of my head, but would love for Saeed or Abdul al-Sayed to have another opportunity, because I remember Bernie was campaigning with him.
Yep.
I forget for what seat that was, but he was very good.
He's a good speaker.
Tim Pool fan.
Yeah.
So can I trade calling Sam a slur for him using a slur against my Irish heritage? Or I mean, sure, of course. Feel free. Head to Twitter.
If you remember.
Yeah.
Jeffrey from Maryland. I think there's a non-zero chance that Schumer gets removed from leadership before his term ends. There's genuine outrage, not only among voters, but elected officials as well. If there was ever a moment for something like this to happen, now is the moment. I called both my senators this morning, urging them to do everything they can to remove Schumer from leadership. And I urge everyone that lives in a state with at least one Democratic senator do the same. Augie's left paw. Emma, that was a reference, was too specific about the X.
No comment.
Ezard, we need a mass initiative to do a complete change of Senate Democratic leadership, all of them out, and no one that voted for Trump's initiative in. Logan Soy, seems maybe we need to add Sam's name to the enemies of Ireland list.
Don't add me. I'm a friend of Ireland.
Light Paladin, conversion therapy is torture.
He ran for governor. Thank you, Nolan. Abdul al-Sayed, yes. That was
right.
in the wake of the Flint stuff. Yeah.
All right, 5 more. Dave from Jamaica. Crew, what do you think of the split in the right between the xenophobic nationalists and the blatant anti-Semitism? Recently, Joe Rogan had on a historian, quote unquote, of the "we got to understand where Hitler's coming from" variety. There is there is like a interesting split. I see it a little bit in my Twitter mentions because of that white nationalist woman from the Jubilee debate. There are some who are like, wait, we need those some of those immigrants, the 1Bs. There is a little bit of a split, but it is largely inconsequential in my estimation, because it's really just sort of like a split between the far right and the extreme right, and that's a sort of there's a category distinction there. Maybe I'll play this clip from Cass Mudd. We've been trying to get him on, but he's not doing media right now. But he talks about the taxonomy of these two groups, and in some ways, Trump has brought them together for the most part.
I agree with that about Rogan, that the recent guests have been weird. I would also point out that Joe Rogan had Anthony Cumia on last year, and look at what Cumia has tweeted about, like Hitler in Germany. Rogan is in those circles.
And also, I think the idea that Rogan is, once it's been made clear, and I think it's become more clear to more people, that Rogan is sort of like his dalliances with, COVID lies and misinformation and right-wingism has taken hold. And I think it has. I think it has in a way that, has displaced him from the top of the podcast charts. And I think it probably gives him license to go even further. And, Spotify needs to be held accountable for this stuff. If you're putting, vague Holocaust denial on Spotify needs to be held account. I mean, it's their prerogative. They're a private company. But, we're told by every right-winger, well, this is why you don't need the Civil Rights Act. Because these businesses would pay the price if they were racist or they were anti-Semitic. Well, we can test that theory. Sam from Ottawa, can we get an over-under 6 months on Ben Shapiro leaving the right? Eventually, they're going to realize he's Jewish. It's already creating tension. Oh, we pulled that. We got to get that Matt Walsh. Remember to put that on the list for tomorrow as well. Because it really came out with the Knowles and Walsh response to that woman from the Jubilee video. And frankly, also the theocrat. Because I got news for you. Christian fundamentalism is not the same as Jewish fundamentalism. They may negotiate with each other.
But Judeo-Christian, Sam.
They may negotiate with each other to a certain extent until they have power.
It's Judeo-Christian in the sense that they want the Judeo in Israel so that they can, most of them can die and Jesus comes back.
Fundamentalism likes fundamentalism.
Sure. Yeah.
And, in many respects, the guy elided the point of. But I also, we've gone over this a couple of times.
But fundamentalism can also work for like market fundamentalism and work in tandem. It's part of why the United States found common cause with religious fundamentalists in the Middle East when we wanted to have control over resources.
Yeah. All right. I guess 3 more. Andrew Cuomo. What is old is new again. I am asking for your vote in this upcoming mayoral election. Many things have been said about me, and they are all true, unless they are bad, in which case you'll be held legally liable for revealing sensitive information. I am a victim. I am a survivor of being Me Too'd. I'm your only hope. I am the real Slim Shady. Make me mayor. I'll continue to waste your taxpayer money on legal actions. His lawyer has been sending letters to Lindsey Boylan. I mean, I think she got one from being on the show.
Oh, free speech. How is Andrew Cuomo going to deal with continued protests against Israel's genocide? I know how Zohran Mamdani will deal with it. Again, I'm going to do a TikTok on this, which this is part of what I'm going to do with my free time now. If you are in New York, don't rank Andrew Cuomo, but you have to fill out all of the 5 spots. It's hard for people to understand, but it's not. Leaving him off is way more powerful than ranking him 5th. So go through the list of the other candidates, figure out who you want to be 2, 3, 4, 5, make Zohran first, and then everybody else, you can make that determination.
But you need to fill in all 5.
Yes.
Because if you don't fill in all 5,
yes,
what happens is if it goes down to the second round, where everybody's number 2 is counted, and you've only put, let's say, 3, your vote is counted. If it goes to the third round, your vote is counted. But if it goes to the 4th round and you haven't filled in there, your vote is not counted. There's no absent vote that is counted. And any vote for Cuomo then has more weight.
Yes.
Because of your absence. So you must fill in all 5. Even if you don't even know the names of these people, putting 3, 4, 5, if you don't know who 4 or 5 is, just take a header. Just no Adams, no Cuomo.
Yeah. Adams, I feel like, is kind of done, but for good measure, just leave both of them off.
All right, 3 more of these. V. This deportation was brought to us by 12 Democratic senators who voted for the Laken Riley Act. I don't know if it was under that authority, but it certainly didn't help. Rural lefty. What a low bar for this Republican Party that North Carolina GOP Chuck Edwards gets applause at this town hall for not wanting to start a war with Denmark and Greenland or Canada. I've been rewatching the HBO show The Newsroom, and though there is much to criticize, it does document the radicalization of an already offensive Republican Party, starting with the Tea Party rise. Oh, yes. I know it well. And the final I am of the day. Crypto bro. Schumer and Newsom gotta go.
Well, Newsom's term limited out, but fair enough.
Yeah, I won't argue. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.